Hey guys, my name is Anthony, and in today's video I'm going to be giving you guys an explanation on assists on versus assists off, and I'm going to be talking about two assists that I feel really make a difference when it comes to lap times. So if you do like this video, then please consider hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel and sticking around, because I'm going to be posting a lot more videos similar to this as well. So getting straight into it now, if you've seen my previous video, then you'll know that driving without assists is indeed quicker. However, if you haven't, then I highly recommend you go and watch that now. So just click the link at the top right hand side of the screen and it will take you to the video that I did where I was basically going in depth on how to drive without assists quicker. But today I'm going to be showing you the actual difference. So in the background footage you can see basically there's two laps going on, one on the left and one on the right. The one on the right is me driving without assists, and the one on the left is me driving with the two assists that I feel when you turn them on really slow you down, and that is ABS and traction control. Now I want to give you a quick disclaimer. I don't play with assists, so when I turned these assists on, it did take a little bit of time to get used to, and I do feel as if this lap wasn't probably the best that somebody could do with the traction control and ABS on. However, I just want to show you the difference between the two. That's why I just decided to do a few laps with it on. So as you can see now, the traction control really does make a big difference. I mean, in the first corner, you know, at Monza, it's a really heavy braking zone and it's a really heavy traction zone at the same time. So that's why I chose the first sort of chicane at Monza, and you can really see the difference when it comes to the braking with ABS versus braking without ABS, and getting traction without traction control versus getting traction with traction control. And the main difference between the two, we'll start with ABS. When it comes to ABS, you can basically put your foot on the brake or your finger on the trigger, on the brake trigger, 100% on all the time, even whilst you're turning the car. That's pretty much what ABS does. It allows it so that you cannot lock up the car, and what this actually does is it actually gives you longer braking zones, and that's the main reason why I feel ABS is a lot slower, because you actually have to brake sooner than you do with ABS off, especially once you've mastered trail braking. Once you've mastered trail braking, the distance between the braking without ABS and braking with ABS on can actually be as big as, say, 20 meters or so. So it's just obviously depending on the corner and depending on your skill level. But once you've mastered trail braking, it really cuts down your braking zones. And honestly, when it comes to most tracks, you're going to find the most time under braking and just as you're getting out of a corner, basically traction. And that's why I feel these two assists are the most important. So as you can see now, we're sort of going into the chicane and just about to come out of the chicane now, and you can see this is where traction control, having traction control off really shines. When you have traction control off, yes, you're going to spin out if you basically just slam your foot on the throttle. However, if you learn to modulate your sort of input when you're putting your foot on the throttle or your finger on the trigger throttle, you will see a massive difference. The amount of traction, you basically just shoot off like a rocket compared to when you have traction control on, because essentially what traction control does is it sort of slows the car down for you so that you don't spin out. So essentially it's sort of doing the sort of modulating work for you. However, it's not doing the modulating work as good as you could do it yourself if you master it. And that's sort of the main difference between having traction control on and having it off. Basically, you can just get better traction out of corners once you've learnt to actually modulate on the throttle. And really and truly, when it comes to modulating on the throttle, I did talk about this in the previous video, but I'll sort of explain it here. You basically just want to put a little bit of throttle application on at first, and then you want to smoothly just apply more and more until you get to full throttle. And usually you want to be at full throttle once you've found enough grip in the car, which is usually when the car is completely straight. And as I said with ABS, when it comes to the braking, it essentially allows you to be quicker under braking and in mid corner. Reason being is because whilst you're trail braking, you're sort of braking and turning at the same time, which means that you can actually go faster into a corner than if you was to 100% brake and then turn. Braking and turning is not as quick as braking and turning at the same time, and that's the main reason why I feel that ABS and traction control are two assists that you really want to think about turning off in F1 2020 if you want to improve your lap times even further. Yeah, there are people that have posted some pretty quick times using ABS and some decently quick times using traction control, but if you want to get faster, the best way in my opinion to get faster is to turn ABS off and turn traction control off. When it comes to other assists like manual gear and racing line, I mean, those are options. You can, in my personal opinion, you can be quicker with manual gear shifting than you would be with automatic gear shifting, but it's not as big as a difference in reality as traction control and ABS. And the racing line, really and truly, it is just an insurance-y blanket. Basically, when it comes to your braking points, it's basically there so that you know 100% that your braking point is coming up. Whereas if you don't have the racing line on, it's sort of like you've really got to pay attention to your surroundings. So if you're battling another car, it can be really difficult to spot your braking points because you're focusing on battling that other car. However, when you've got the racing line on, you don't really need to, focus on, oh, where's my braking points, because you can see a big red line right in front of you telling you need to brake. So if you want to see more videos similar to this, then I highly recommend you click the top right hand side of the screen. There's going to be a link to a playlist that showcases all of my F1 tip videos. A lot of my F1 tip videos are sort of evergreen tip content. So basically what that means is these tips you can apply no matter what game that you're playing when it comes to the F1 games. So a lot of these tips, they were made when F1 2019 was the main game. However, you can definitely 100% apply them to F1 2020. And I've got some other links on the top right hand side of the screen if you want to see my team series, and if you want to see other gameplay like for example, my challenge that I just did where I tried to beat Carlos Sainz's real life performance. So if you like this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel and stick around. We've just hit 270 subscribers, we're almost at 300. I can't thank you guys enough for the support that I've been getting on the channel recently. So I'll see you guys in the next video.